Hey everyone, this is I guess it's part 9, and I'm reworking the feathers. I sanded it out. I wasn't happy with the colors. I was getting into like a lost area of confusion as far as up in here. So I sanded it out, and now I'm working with transparents, which you'll see as I go along how I can move along and build color up slowly but surely. So anyway, I'm going for the light areas, such as all in here, working from light to dark. I don't care if I spray over some of the pencil lines because they're little marks of where darker feathers go. So I want to still see them. All right, so keep my... Just wasn't accurate enough for me, and it started getting chalky looking. And so at least I was able to do that and bring it back to workable. Now, as far as transparents, I'm working with a gradation scale. So I sprayed the darker color at the top, and as I went down, I sprayed lighter. So somewhere in there is the value of where, what I want to use. So hopefully, by not spraying too heavy, I can kind of stay in the very light value. And if I see it get darker in some areas, then I could work it later, or lighter, I can erase it out. Like right in here, I'm just going to put some of this lighter color. Again, I can spray right over the darker, because it will be needed. I need to see it. But I have a much better map now, and I can work quicker this way. I don't know why I chose to go the other way, but I will use, the beak is opaque, all in here is opaque. So that worked out good. Sorry. But the feathers were, probably because it wasn't drawn out good enough, I lost my way. And so it's starting to make, to me, it was starting to get lost, and, so I just decided to rework it a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of this, just a tinge here. Not much. Just going to put it where I see it in the picture a little bit. This area all in here is going to be the dark burnt umber, burnt sienna, sepia color, which would be the dark feathers. All right, so for now, I'm going to be just spraying in, let's see, I got to find the dark area here. So that's dark, maybe light around it, right in here. Doesn't matter if I go on to the dark area, because it's going to be fine as far as that goes. Again, I can see where I'm going. Starting over is a pain, but when you stare at the painting and you see that you're not happy with it and you've lost all the detailing, this is one of the harder paintings I've painted, so I'm just going to do it this way and see how it works out. Okay, so for now, I think I got enough of that just to start me off. Put a little bit more here. Okay, so that's a mixture of, I think it has sepia, red, violet. There's no white. It's not opaque, and it has some sepia, red, violet, and what else? Red, violet, and burnt sienna. Okay. All right, so now by spraying that light and not using the white, it's not opaque. It's very erasable. Where this, you can't erase too well on there. I mean, it would be going against, it would be breaking up and starting to get very like chopping up the painting. So I took a black and white Xerox And I was not as accurate with some of these cutouts, so these dark areas. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to use more, if you can't freehand it, you've got to go in and you've got to use the stencils. Okay, so I'm going to switch over. I have my HP Plus loaded with a darker, but not the darkest. It's darker than, it'll establish my beginnings of my dark area. They're going to be much darker, but for now, I just want to put everything in, start indicating where things go. Down here, you can see the post notes. Actually, you can't see it in the video, so I'll lift it up. Okay, so spraying, I just moved them just enough. 2 pieces of sticky, super sticky post notes that create a feather, a very nice sharp line. All right, so I try to bring that in a little bit. There you go. And back out. All right. Sorry for the wiggling. There we go. All right, so you can use all kinds of stencils, from Frisket to stencils that are curves and shapes, cut out paper, that will allow you to get this done. So in the case of this guy up here, instead of freehanding him in, I'm going to use a shield. I think I might have used a shield for some of these, but they got away from me. So just going to look for the shape that's a curve going this way, so I need like a round area right here, and I'm just going to spray off there. All I'm doing is giving myself a sketch. Whoops, goes this way. Of where things go. I'm not trying to get the exact color yet, because it's transparent, so I can go back over with the darker umbers and sepias to get that real dark kind of brown, but it's not as dark as I had it, so I was losing. It's more colorful, and I was getting too dark. So anyway, let's try a couple of areas that I'm going to try to use. I bought these shields from, this is from Drew Blair, and this is actually for the eyes and stuff. I don't know if you can see. There's eyebrows and eyelashes and things like that. But there's nice cutout shapes for different, for other things that maybe I could find on here. So let's just try it. Let's just get, this one's kind of straight. Maybe, yeah, it's right around there. I don't know if it's too skinny, but I'm going to try it. If it's too skinny, I'll just, thicken it up on one side with a post note or something. But I don't want to go too far down either. So pin it down, go over it. And again, this is not the color. This is just, yeah, these are much better. They've got to be dead on sharp. They can't be freehand and wiggly and all that stuff, because it just won't work. It will not work. I saw it. Now down here, let's see. Maybe I can find that curve. The only problem is that might be too fat. Yeah, I'm going to go to these little ones. It's pretty skinny all the way along. Okay, now I have to make sure I'm lined up. Boy, everything's shaking here. Looks like it might be it there. If it's not, it's very easy to erase. So I'll just put it in real light this time because I'm just, yeah, hit right on the spot. These are on the feather. They're the actual cartilage or whatever that the feather shoots off of. I'm not too sure about feathers, but so you could see the pattern and where I'm going with this. You know, as far as all these shapes down here, I'm going to definitely mix a transparent that's closer to the color than the light color or the real darker color that I'm using here. I probably definitely could have went, you know, into the darker areas with that, but let me just see if I spray a little bit longer in one spot, how that will work. Hard to find these shapes. Okay. Comes to a nice point. Now you pin it down and just, it's going to be as dark as that brown that's around the beak. And just stay on the edge of the stencil and you create a beautiful shape that's much better than where I was going before. All right, so let's do a little bit more. I'm going to keep the videos short because like my phone doesn't seem to want to go past 15 minutes. It seems to kick off. All right, so let's take one of these little guys here. They're too curvy, so we're going to get this guy right here. And he seems to be going upward. Might be too, might just use part of it instead of all of it. Yeah, I hope you can see that. It's landing right on, because this is translucent. You can see through it a little bit. If my lines are darker, I could see it really good, but I'll try to zoom in on that so you guys can see. Okay, so we'll pick one more right here. Okay, so right there. I'll do it darker on purpose so you can see it. They're landing right on it. So as you can see, this stencil is made for, you know, making the eyelashes and the eyebrow. So it's really nice, you know, you can get yourself, this is just paper, so it's gonna, but the thing is, you know, I'm using it for something totally different because shapes are shapes, and that's what I'm trying to go for here. All right, so we'll go a little bit more here. Let's get this curve back to this one again. That's a little more curvy, so I'll go with that. I'm going back over the same one. Now I could see it a little better. And I'm going to just try to darken it a little bit more. There it is. They're even darker. Of course, I didn't have it zoomed out, so you didn't see it. I just put that one in. All right, so I'll do one more. Let's see. Well, I'll do something else here. As I sketch with this, I'll find shapes. It's round, so I'll go this way. And again, I'll be just establishing. I got to look at the reference first before I spray in the wrong area. Boy, this is a real... Okay, here we go. So this is going to be a very lighter dark area, I should say. So I'm just establishing it, just so I know where I'm going with it. So I'll be working this the same way you see me doing this and getting it back into the darker colors as I go, but I'll be able to erase. And with the Createx paints, they have a window of time, as I've said in other videos, where you can erase and get your lighter areas quickly, especially on I think Drew Blair's synthetic paper. It really behaves really quickly, but on the clay board I like it to dry and be more, hours into it because it bites into the clay board more. So I guess it acts different. I've used a little bit of the synthetic paper, and it just comes off like nothing because it's made for it. But the clay board, it is made for it too, but I got to be careful what eraser I use because I can end up getting too aggressive and make it all burnished looking, not too nice looking. So this is where I'm at. I'm going to be calling this video so that it doesn't run into a problem with cutting it off, cutting it short. All right, so I'm going to keep working on these areas. The stencils could be anything from the black and white that I showed you where you cut out the shapes. I used the black and white. I cut it out around the shape and I taped it on, and I didn't use the Sally paper or whatever it's called. It's a graphite paper because the graphite was too smeary on this. At least it was too. I did much better by taking my own number 2H pencil and making my own carbon on paper. So it made this black, slid it under, of course with the black down, and the pencil doesn't smear. It just behaves better for me. And that's what part of the problem was the last time. It started to just almost mix and go into like grays and different things. So, but I just don't want to use the freehand stroke here. I can do it a little bit in certain areas, like around this opening here. This is going to be really dark later, but I'm just sketching right now. But these are little shapes that have to show through. Inside the dark, you'll see it all broken up like that in the reference. Okay, and so by leaving those little shapes, I'll cut it in nice and it'll all come together. So you can do freehand, like I'll do some freehand right here. You can do it, but I like to have a bigger area. And when it comes to the points and stuff, dagger strokes are not hard to make. But the problem is, on a small thing like that, you might go too far. It's tight. It's on a t-shirt or something large. You're more. It's just bigger. You can kind of control it. But all this darkness in here is going to be really dark. It's not even going to be this orangey color. Got to turn the air down. It's going to be, almost like a chocolatey brown. But I just need to know where everything is. And so if anybody's working on a painting out there that they want to throw away because they've lost it, and if it's clay-board, you can do what I did. Go down to the board again and get it going. And that's exactly what I did. And so I know there's paint in there. It's spraying out there. I know you have to do the tip dry out real, like every 15 seconds, 10 seconds on a micron. So it's going to get real dark here, these shapes. You can work it freehand, but I got some points coming off there, and so off camera I'll go after stuff like that. But in the meantime, the erasing and the lightening and darkening of the lighter areas are going to be, done with soft erasers, creating that the whites that I need, the lighter colors. And hopefully I'll be in good shape with my sanding. And so far it seems to be pretty good. Not going to erase on here because it'll just shake the whole camera. But there's where I'm at right now, kind of starting over. I don't want to get real crazy as far as doing too much. Maybe one more thing, just to show you with the shields, when you've got your shields and you've got an area. Put it in, very lightly. As I find these patterns, whoops, that one's not right. There we go, right there. I'll be seeing it in a different color, but I'll see it. I'll see the layers and the one feather going over another, and I won't get lost in the craziness of this super. Now those dark areas right there, they'll be erased out, or they'll be, I mean, they're actually going to be darker ribs inside the feather. So it's okay to see them. It's okay to see through this. I don't want to go too far with this color because it's not what I'm going to be using over there. So anyway, I'll continue on. Thanks for checking out the videos, and we'll go from here. And I got to get this to where I like it, and it wasn't. So the beak it was making me happy, but the bird was just different areas that I just couldn't accept. Okay, before I run out of time here with this camera, I will see you on the next video. Take care.